Hey guys, I am back with another beginner game chess analysis video. I think I butchered that. Um, but yeah, so I'm here with another one. It's been about a month since my last one. Um, yeah, so let's get started. Oh yeah, before I begin, just as a caveat as usual, for anyone that's watching this series for the first time, I am not a titled player. I'm between 2000 and 2100 on average on Lichess across all the time controls. So that should give you an idea of where I'm at. Um, Oh yeah, and if you wanted to have me analyze your game in one of these videos, simply send me a message somehow and try to send me a longer time control game and preferably one that you lose. Yeah, okay, so let's get started here. So we are analyzing for King Robbo as as black here. Looks like the game ended in a stalemate. Um, let's take a look. It's my first time taking a look at this. Okay, so we have a Sicilian, which I play as both sides, except I play d6. He's playing knight c6. So this is all pretty straightforward. Well, it is straightforward. It's all theory. So this is a Sozin. Again, I don't play the knight c6 line in the Sicilian, so I won't be able to help with theory too much here. But so far this looks good. I don't think G6 is main line. Probably E6, I think, yeah. And I'm looking at the database here. E6 is main line. There's also Queen B6, but G6 is probably okay. Well, G6 is probably not the greatest move. I wouldn't worry about it too much because at 1600 level, you can play pretty much everything. But if you really wanted to tighten down your opening, like I'm looking at this in the database, and there's only 46 games in the database, and White has won twice as often as Black has here, which is pretty significant. And the engine is giving this at about zero point 0.9 for White. So it's almost like White is a pawn up after G6. So this is more of a dragon type structure. But here, yeah, you'd probably want to stick with one of the more popular lines. So you could take a look at E6 or Queen B6. It looks like even Bishop D7 might be fine, or even E5 possibly. Although I don't like E5. I don't really like E5. But yeah, I'm just a word out there. I mean, this is getting a little bit beyond the scope of a beginner's chess video, but again, if you just want to hone down this opening, because this is a very common opening, um, probably don't want to really go with the G6 line. Yeah, and again, I should have mentioned that this is a 15 and 10 minute game here in this time control, and our two players, well, one is almost 1700, the other one, the one we're analyzing here, is 1630 on Lichess here. Okay, but let's continue. Okay, so okay, that is a huge surprise to me. Knight G4. What is up with that? That is very odd looking to me. I really don't understand that. I'm not sure why Black wouldn't like probably just castle here. That'd be like 99% what I'm looking at first. Like 99% of the time, I'm just looking at casting here. I don't understand this. I just really don't get it unless somehow he's trying to reroute it to E5. It's the only thing I can think of, which is kind of interesting, I should say, but still looks absolutely bizarre to me. Yeah, it's very strange. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure why black wouldn't just castle. There are like possible issues of e5 that we might need to worry about, but I think black is okay after d takes, rook takes, and queen and rook takes. I think black is okay there. Oh wait, we might be dropping a pawn at the end of. No, we're not. Wait, are we? Okay, sorry. I'm getting a bit I'm getting a bit off track here, but yeah, so castling e5 if de and rook takes um and queen take next takes. We always have e6 at the end of that, so we're okay. And if castles e5 takes, queen takes, rook takes, yeah, we always have e6, so we're not dropping a pawn. So yeah, I would just castle here. Like I don't see the I don't really understand this move. The only thing is if he wants to reroute it to knight e5, which I think is very, very intriguing, but I would still just king safety, Don't try to get fancy here. I'm very curious about this move, unless if he's seeing something I'm not. So I'm going to take a peek with the engine here. And funnily enough, the engine is actually, it does not mind knight g4. And but I personally don't understand it. Yeah, and I don't know why the computer doesn't mind it so much. Yeah, and it looks like to reroute it to 95. Very interesting. I'm going to turn off the engine here. So yeah, the reason that the engine doesn't hate it is because it can be rebooted to 95. But even though the engine says it's okay, I don't like it as a move unless you have a real concrete plan, afterwards. Like if you move the bishop back, what are you doing with that knight? It's still a little bit awkward there. I would just worry about your king safety here. Okay, and he does place it on e5. That's a very interesting maneuver, though, especially at 1600. Like, that is a very odd way of thinking. Now it's extra good because he's going to win the trade of the knight and the bishop, but that's because white played this poor move of queen f3. But yeah, in the future, don't try to get fancy unless you have unless you can tell me exactly why this is worth playing over castling. Yeah, and this is a little strange here. I mean, I would probably just take the bishop here. Personally, yes, you have a centralized knight, but it's not going to be able to stick around there forever. F4 is probably going to come at some point, and then your knight is just retreating. You might as well take that bishop while you can. Otherwise, why did you really put the knight there? I don't really like knight g4. Oh, sorry, bishop g4 either. To me, it's kind of not. It's really just not accomplishing anything. I think even just after f3, and white has basically won a tempo here. So bishop g4. Like I see nothing wrong with f3, and now black just has to move again. Now it's white's turn again, and again white has basically gotten a tempo. You could argue that you made white move the f pawn, but in this position, it's really not bad. I mean, he's securing e4, and he does have some control over the light squares. Oh, sorry, over the dark squares. So that's not really an issue. And again, you kind of just gave white a free tempo here. So I wouldn't like. I would never consider this move myself. Alternative moves that I might consider here. Well, this is just a really weird. I'm not used to having a knight on e5 there. But just some quick ideas. I might consider rook e8, possibly a5, with the idea of trading off this pawn or liquidating it. Pushing here eventually. And then after a5, we have moves like bishop a6. So this could be an idea. This could be an idea. Maybe queen c7, so that we could maybe put a rook on. Queen c7. So we could put a rook on d8 at some point. So there are other ideas I might play here. But yeah, a5 might be one that I would be looking at closer, because I really like the idea of bishop a6. Okay. Anyways. Oh, this I really don't like. So this is the first move that I'm, well, other than this, the knight g4 move I thought was very questionable, but this one I think is an actual mistake. Allowing white to trade bishops here and give black this really ugly set of double pawns in the center, I don't like. This pawn on the resulting pawn on e6 can become very, very difficult to defend, because essentially the queen is going to have to be the one that will defend it most of the time, because it's really awkward for the rook to have to defend it, and the king defending it could be dangerous when, you know, with the queen being on this diagonal. So yeah, I just really don't like this. I would have brought the bishop probably to d7 here. Okay, I'm not thrilled with e5, or sorry, d5 either. I think black needs to worry about development a little bit here. The queen is on the original square. This rook is on the original square. So personally, we're looking at some development. Maybe again, queen c7, getting this other rook developed more. I still might be thinking of ideas of a5. And I'd probably be thinking of ways to improve the knight here as well. Mainly, I'd probably like to move my queen here, because I mean this is going to be coming soon, and I don't want to really be playing reactively. So, okay, so d5. I'm thinking black just wanted to sort out these double pawns. I'm guessing that's what he wanted, so I can understand that. And he's threatening a fork, which isn't a real threat because there's always rook d1. The problem is white doesn't have to take, and black can't really take here because that's just going to improve white's position. Black is going to be end up with if he takes, black will end up with two isolated pawns. So okay, but white took, so black was lucky about that. Yeah, I know. I don't like this. This is too passive for the rook. The rook is too valuable a piece to just be babysitting a single square, and eventually, I mean, it could always get kicked out later on as well. So this is just far too passive of a move. I'm guessing. Okay, I guess the issue here, now that I see it, is e6 is going to fall. But yeah, so it looks like that is a problem. So I understand now why he played rook f5. So if we can't defend that, I wonder if we could counterattack. Not really. I was looking at knight c4, you know, maybe grabbing this pawn. The problem is white could just take immediately with check. Or even just take here and then take with check. So yeah, I understand now why he did this, but that doesn't even stop the issue, I don't think, right? Because after takes, okay, I see. He wants to take with the rook. Okay, yeah, but if you look at g4, and then rook g5, and then h4, your rook is trapped. So you have to kind of think long term. I should also mention that black is playing too quickly here. He spent less than 2 minutes the whole game so far. You see, or you can't. Okay, you can't see it on the screen. It's cut off. You can only see the top clock. But yeah, black has 13 minutes and 12 seconds left. So he's especially with the increment here, he's playing too quickly. This is move 18. Move 18, and he spent less than 2 minutes. You got to slow down, King Rabo. But yeah, so black is in a really tough spot here. I probably can't suggest anything too great. Because, you know, this looks very rough. I'm curious. I'm going to turn on the engine. Okay, the computer actually likes rook f5, which I'm surprised about. Because I thought this could be, oh, I guess we could take here. Okay, I missed that. So g4 can't be played. I see. Huh. So yeah, just turning off the engine there. Yeah, so the computer actually likes rook f4 as, or sorry, rook f5 is the best move. I forgot that g4 can't be played because of f3 is hanging. But still, that I don't know. I feel even though that's the best move, I would be looking tooth and nail for alternatives here because that rook is just the delegation to such a passive role is not good in my view. Okay, kind of an odd move by white. I guess he wants to get into c5 for some reason. I don't know why he would want to. I guess he's trying to undermine this, but I don't really like that idea by white. Let's see how black responded. Queen g5, interesting. Yeah, because he's threatening to take on f3 now. So I think I don't hate that move. I just hope, I mean, he's hoping to take here, but I hope he has another reason, like a backup plan if white simply thwarts that. Because I'm actually like, what about like bishop e3? Yeah, because bishop e3 is looking... Although, could he still take? I don't know. It gets a little rough. Let's see what happens. He takes the knight. Queen d3. Okay. Rook f8. Interesting. I don't get rook f8. He's trying to do something with the f3 square, but I'm not sure what. I like that black is trying to activate his other rook here. I'm just wondering, I'm just kind of looking at this if we can do anything with this. I don't think so, though. Not that I can see. Take. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at like take and then bishop d4 check. But queen takes, and I don't know what we're getting out of that. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, there is something. The knight here, and that's why I felt weird about that knight. I think I see a tactic. If you look at this square, there's kind of an intersection here. And I think we could take, and then I think this works. Queen h4. Queen h4 is now attacking both pieces. Oh, yeah, and he can't. I don't think he can defend both. And I don't think he can counterattack. So I think that works. If takes, queen h4. And now, yeah, because that knight, I told you before, I did not like that knight seemed a little bit weird. I mean, this didn't really seem like that great of a square for white. And I think that would have been a winning tactic. It looks like it to me. I could be missing something though, but yeah, so instead though, black played rook f8. Which again, I don't understand because I don't know what he's okay, I think he's just hoping. It's kind of a hope chess move. He's hoping that white is going to move the queen somewhere like random, or that even that won't work. You have to go like here. He'd have to go, yeah, but even that would be good for white. But he's hoping white is going to go somewhere like this, way out of the ballpark here, and then he's going to take here. That's what he's hoping for. So it's kind of a hope chess move. Instead, well, we have this tactic, but instead of rook f8, I don't know. It's kind of an awkward position. Like I'm assuming that I'm just saying that if we didn't have this, instead of rook f8, what might I play here? Hard to say. I might consider even taking, like not continuing with this, but just taking and then assuming that this didn't work. playing maybe possibly e5, building up the central mass of pawns or something. Okay, but anyways, let's just continue. I'm almost smelling a tactic again, but just because that knight still seems awkward. I don't think there's anything yet. I'm thinking we could take this pawn. Although there's a fork here, I guess. Okay, so that's the issue. I think I might consider queen f5, trading the queens. Then we have a bishop with pawns on both sides of the board, which is good for the endgame against a knight. But no, he's okay. A little bit too many hope chess moves here. He's hoping for, to grab this pawn. I don't know. Yeah, because okay, well, I guess he only has. Okay, maybe white only has one way to defend, h3, and now his dark squares are weak. Maybe that's not so bad. Maybe not so bad. Yeah, because white can't play g3 here because this pawn falls. So yeah, this actually looks like the only way for white to defend that. So and then suddenly his dark squares are very weak. So again, maybe that's it looks like actually a pretty good move. Although personally, I still think I might have played here. Yeah, there's a fork. Yeah, this is a little slow. There's also just simply taking here, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I might have just played rook f7 here. Oh, wait. Sorry. No, I'm stupid. Yeah, okay, that looks forced. Okay. Yeah, and now this looks a little iffy. Okay, whoa, let me slow down here. I'm trying to make this video not too long, but... So he gives a check. I don't know. I think because black has the more active rook, I'm pretty sure I would trade queens here and then go rook e2. And then these pawns are falling. And like white can attack here and it'll be probably pretty close to a draw endgame, but these pawns are pretty strong. And again, black's rook is faster here and more active. So I think I would trade queens. I'm curious what the computer thinks. I'm going to put it on here. No, yeah. So actually the computer is fine with either move, with rook e1 check or trading queens. So the computer likes both moves, but instinctually I'm looking more at this myself. Okay, and he takes the queen now. Yeah, well, I guess he has to pretty much. Oh, I don't know about putting the rook way over there. This seems to make 100% more sense to me, because you guarantee yourself a pawn. So black is again moving too quick. He has 9 minutes left on the clock. We're in an end game. He's still moving too quickly. This is a very simple move to see. And white is going to be very slow. If he goes here, take. I mean, black is completely winning there. So that was a big mistake in my opinion, because that's a very simple move to see. And this is just so passive. Oh, I don't understand this. Rook b1? What? Okay, so he's trying to slow this one down. No, black is being way too passive with the rook. I don't know. I might start advancing my king now, and then targeting this, trying to move in these pawns slowly. So we want the king in the center, active role for the king, something along those lines. This just gives up a full move. It's you give your opponent a free move. That's all it does. Yeah, and white is advancing his king. Again, this case, this is such passivity for the rook. The rook, what is it going to do here? Like, it could even get trapped. Well, it could. It could if white brought the king in like this way and then moved the rook here. And like yeah, sorry, like whoops. Oh shit, I didn't mean to. Fuck. Sorry. Oh, my language. Um, let's see here. I hit the wrong button on the keyboard, and I didn't like that. Okay, so oh yeah, so what I was trying to say is this move here very dangerous if white gets the rook here, brings the king here, and then puts a rook here. This rook could really get trapped and entangled there. I just don't. It's just too passive. Instead, this rook should really be like in a more active square, something like this, or even this at the worst. Okay, but again, I'm trying not to make this video too long, so I'm going to kind of speed up here a little bit. Yeah, black is just playing too passive, so try to be more active with your pieces. Don't delegate, like, because it's really sad to see this rook. You know what I mean? Okay, we have d3 on board. There we go. The rook is finally free. Yeah. Okay, I'm wondering if were there any tricks that we could have done? Possibly not. But yeah, this is okay. Again, this is too passive of a move. I'm not sure what black is hoping for here. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm a bit curious. The only thing I can see is that it slows down this pawn from advancing, but who cares, right? No, black has to play more actively here. Why not just simply push this pawn? I don't understand. This is completely winning. This is completely winning. Like e5, and just black has so much time here. So slow down and think. e5, just e5. How can you lose? Okay, I see his thinking. He's scared of this check, but don't be scared of that. Black always can go here later on to stop that pawn. These pawns are fast. So, for example, e5 check. Who cares? Just come in here. If this comes in here, this is going to stop it eventually. If he tries to like come here again, first of all, we could just take it. So if he comes in here, we're just going to be running these pawns. Our pawns are way faster. And even in the case that he starts to queen, let's say he comes in here, I mean, let's say he tries to defend it, we could always just take at some point. Okay, here it doesn't work. Here it doesn't quite work because he has his check at the end. But let's say we could actually just queen now, and if he queens for some reason, well, we're up a queen here. So my point is, again, be more active with your pieces. This is this rook g2 is too passive of a move. You're ready to queen, so just push your pawns here. Yeah, this was a stalemate. How did this get to be a stalemate? Oh my god. First of all, you should almost never get a stalemate unless you have like 1 second left on your clock. Even then, you shouldn't really be stalemating people. But at your level, 1600, you should really not. There's no. Okay, here's the way to say it. There's not really an excuse to stalemate someone. The only excuse I can say is like if you have like a second left on your clock and you're trying not to flag, but if you have lots of time on your clock, there's no excuse for stalemating someone. It just means you were sloppy. Not trying to be mean, but that's the truth of it. You weren't thinking. Okay, but let's see how that panned out. Okay. take a look here. Okay, check. Oh, you don't need more pawns here. I don't know. The first thing I would be looking at is another check. Because we're trying to obviously trade off queens here. So let's say check. I mean, I'd probably be just looking at a check and then be pushing this pawn up. That's what I would be looking at. I don't really want to be stemming away from the queen. But this will still be winning, of course. But... Or even actually just pushing the pawn is probably better. Yeah, now that I look at it. F3. Because we're threatening mate. Yeah, this is probably way better. I would just push the pawn here. We're threatening mate. No. You're not going after, but you're trying to checkmate the king, right? This is a little silly to be eating pawns like Pac-Man here. I really am not happy with that move. Again, it's like impossible for black to lose here. So everything is completely winning, but this is just a wrong mindset to have. Okay, well, to be fair, black is under check, but even so, I think I would just my instinctual move would be to move the queen here. Maybe your move is better because now the queen is not as restricting of the enemy king, but yeah, and I'm probably being too hard here, but just from from a principled perspective, I don't like just grabbing eating pawns, especially that first pawn. Like I really don't like this move at all. But okay, let's continue on. I'm being a little bit harsh here. Okay, I don't understand that. Why not defend this pawn? I don't understand that at all. So probably because black is winning, thinks he can be a little bit careless here. But I mean, come on. I mean, you're trying to checkmate your opponent, and this is, okay. I just don't like, black is just being very sloppy here. So I just don't like that. Because there's no need for it. Okay, because we're at move 59 in the game. Why give away pawns at this point, right? You worked so hard to get here. Okay, I'm not sure what black is hoping for because these checks are still happening. He needs to probably move towards the center somehow, and then try to move to this pawn over here, so that eventually, if white checks, black can block with a check of his own somehow. He gives up another pawn too. Yeah, because he falls for this fork. All he had to do is move the queen here. The queen defends all the pawns. He's going to get checked again, but he'll be able to hide behind it eventually. But there was no need for any of this. All these pawns are falling. Oh my god. Goes to the corner. Yeah, too many king moves. Block with the queen at some point. Right? I mean, there's no more checks after this. Oh, sorry. I guess my bad. The pawn is falling. Okay, never mind. But there were some other cases where he could have, like for example here, he could have blocked with the queen, and then maybe later he can hide here. It's a little bit harder for white to give checks. This might force a draw because, or maybe not. Oh, it might though, because black would have to go here and then white can just give a check again. Oh wait, no, he can't. But if he, so maybe not. Maybe that's okay. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long, but yeah, and then this would be a draw here. Yeah, and this looks like this may possibly be a draw now. So that's inexcusable, because I mean, like, okay, First of all, I appreciate that King Rob sent this to me because it's probably a bit embarrassing because I'm sure he's embarrassed about what happened in the end game. But I'm still going to be nasty about it because I don't want this to happen again to him. Yeah, so if we just go backwards here, like he's up a full pawn, and he has an advanced pawn. So again, I really like f3 here, and I would not be worrying about grabbing these pawns. Black. So the theme of this whole video is passivity. Black was really passive in most parts of the game, and this is just another example in the end game. And even though he's grabbing a pawn, in my opinion, that's a passive move, because we're trying to checkmate the king. I would be looking at a more active role here, threatening mate in 1, for example. We want to be, yeah, we're after the king. We're not after the pawns. And then after all of this, there was just some careless moves like here, giving up this pawn. Black is still winning here, but this was just kind of a foreshadowing of what happened, what is to come. And these checks by the queen, they are annoying and they are a little bit hard to avoid. But that's why I think Black maybe should have tried to come to the center. And I think that's what I would try, because again, it's a little bit harder even though the center, it's technically white can give a lot more checks. At the same time, there is this pawn, which is, it's not on the side of the board, it's in the center, so it's a little bit easier to hide from checks. And since the enemy king is here, Black has to be very careful about avoiding checks of his own. So that's what I would have probably attempted here. And then of course we don't want to be dropping another pawn. And that's the good pawn, so we need to defend that pawn. So they're just some careless moves by Black at the end. Okay, I'm going to end the video there. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.